Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you today is I love it so much. We have a pro-gun representative, Lauren Boebert, who just won re-election to the chagrin of the media. And then we have an anti-gun, progressive lefty member of the squad, Jamal Bowman, who just got kicked out in the Democratic primary. Guys, this is indicative of something so much larger than what we are just looking at on the surface, and we're going to cover it right now in depth. Everything will be linked in the description box below. And of course, I need to hear you in those comments to help overcome that algorithm shenanigan, which we see ever so often. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on if you want to spread this freedom from this generation to the next. And thank you for that consideration. And a special note, guys, check that subscription status. Make sure you're still subscribed, because this happens every 3 to 4 months. YouTube all of a sudden gets a little kick in their step and they want to adjust old accounts that aren't active, that are always there. Just make sure it's subscribed on, because this is something that we see consistently. When I see the patterns that I'm seeing right now of a slow attrition of my subscribers, usually you've been unsubscribed. So make sure you check that. I would love to have you guys make sure you have every single notification that we send out. So make sure that bad boy's on. And with that said, let's dive into that. And I thank you for that consideration as well. New York, Colorado, and Utah primaries 2024. Bowman loses and Boebert wins. All right. So this is kind of going into something that I've had a hypothesis on for a while here. You're seeing the far left get moderated back towards the middle, not far left, not middle, like in the middle of Democrats traditionally, but not far left progressives like Jamal Bowman, AOC, Ilhan Omar, people like that, Cori Bush. So what we're looking at right here is them being primaried out of their own party. This is not Republicans beat the Democrats. This is literally Democrat beat progressive socialist. Now, Jamal Bowman is a far-left gun-controlling hack. He's the guy that pulled a firearm to stop the vote for the budget. He's also the guy that got in Thomas Massey's face around gun control, calling all Republicans cowards. Well, he's out. No longer in. He got defeated by a different guy in the Democratic Party. Now, you contrast that to Lauren Boebert. Lauren Boebert would be perceived from the left or the media as far right. Well, she moved congressional districts, and she got the re-election bid as the primary. So it's going to be her versus the Democrat. Republican stayed, progressive leftist goes away. That's a message all by itself. But let's continue. Let me show you a few of the things coming from ABC, because this stuff, guys, it's a bigger fight than just one night. June 25th was one of the most jam-packed primary election days of the year. Democrats and Republicans in Colorado, New York, Utah, and parts of South Carolina picked their party's nominees for the fall's elections. And this is the part where it gets really important. You got the perception of Boebert and the perception of Bowman. Listen to what happened through their own parties. Two incumbent representatives, Jamal Bowman and Lauren Boebert, who have made enemies inside and outside their own parties, faced serious challengers in their primaries. But they met with different fates. Bowman lost to a more moderate Democrat, George Latimer, in what was the most expensive congressional primary in history. However, Boebert easily prevailed in her Republican primary despite running in an entirely new district, and that's exceedingly important. When you look at what Lauren Boebert just did, she moved from, I believe it was the 4th to the 3rd district in Colorado. That's a completely new electorate. Okay? She won easily. Jamal Bowman, who is in the exact same electorate, in the exact same House representative seat, he lost to a more moderate opportunity, or a more moderate Democrat. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this guy is a pro-gun person. What I'm saying is the far left progressive policies that expand beyond gun control are losing in the general electorate. This is big, guys. Make no mistake, this is a big freaking deal. Because again, Boebert did not get ousted, but Bowman did. So you're seeing the purification on the left, you're not seeing the purification on the right. That's a big piece of this puzzle. Let's continue though. In addition, the fields are now set in some key congressional matchups this fall. In Colorado, Republicans avoided nominating far-right candidates who could have put normally safe red districts in play. We're going to hit that in 1 second. That's very big. Meanwhile, Democrats picked their fighters in 2 competitive New York House districts that could help them reclaim the House majority. So This is a really important piece you have to understand. When we're talking about the gunfight, when we're talking about fighting the ATF, we're talking about fighting the legislation that the Biden administration put forward, the executive overreach, all of these things come down to these House positions. So when you're looking at what they're saying is the far-right candidates didn't get elected, what that means is you've got a consolidation of the party's mainline, baseline voter, which is going to make it harder for Democrats to pick off by painting them as extremist. And then on the Democrat side, you are losing the most extreme people, Jamal Bowman, progressive member of the squad, AOC, Ilhan Omar, the far left socialist. They're going for a more moderate member. What we've seen over the past 4 years is we went to the extremes, and we are now moderating back a little bit. However, on the right, the Lauren Boebert side of this, it's not abandoning the constitutional principles that Lauren Boebert does espouse. On the left, you've got Jamal Bowman, who is straight up a socialist gun-controlling person. Now he's out. This is a big deal, guys. This speaks to something beyond just gun rights and gun control, but it has a direct effect on it. Now, let me show you 2 more things and little excerpts that they put out here. In New York's 16th district, this is about Bowman, the AP has projected the Westchester County executive, George Latimer, will defeat progressive Representative Jamal Bowman in the Democratic primary. This race was defined largely by internal Democratic divisions over the Israel-Hamas conflict and the influence of pro-Israel groups, although controversies about Bowman's past behavior certainly made him more vulnerable. And this is the really important piece. Yes, did he pull the fire alarm to stop a budgetary vote? 100%. Did he lie about it? Yep. Is that why he got unelected? Nope. The big thing here is the Democratic Party has a divide in the Israel-Hamas piece, in the immigration piece, in the economics piece. They have a lot of big divides, and it's starting to show, and the far left socialist progressives are starting to get picked off. Cori Bush, her race is still not called yet. If we lose Cori Bush in the representatives, or the House representatives, that's another indicator of what's happening. Okay, now let's jump over to Boebert, because this is quite the contrast. In Colorado's 4th district, the AP has projected that Lauren Boebert will win the GOP nomination. Boebert caused a lot of grumbling after switching districts from the 3rd on the other side of the state, but she ultimately won easily thanks to her big fundraising advantage, Trump's endorsement, and ton of name recognition. Name recognition is huge. That's a big piece of it. But Jamal Bowman had that name recognition as well. What I'm trying to drive home here is the people who happen to be gun controllers, the people who happen to be the far left extremists in the progressive wing of the Democratic Party are starting to lose support. The people who are constitutionally footed, Lauren Boebert, in this case, the person who goes after the ATF, person who stands for gun rights, the person who stands against the separation of power abuses that the ATF and the executive branch is basically putting on our gun rights, she stays in power. Understand, this is a big deal, guys. You're not going to see the full ramifications until later on, but this is the beginnings. The water is starting to trickle, and it's looking in a direction that I really like. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.